Hi everyone, it's Vicki at Stamp with Vicki. Thanks for joining me today. Today we're going to create two awesome gift card holders just in time for the holidays using products from the Trimming the Town suite. I'm also pulling in a couple of additional stamp sets just for fun. Here is the first card and, well, gift card holder. Let me show you how to open that. Now, the instructions and dimensions will be in my blog, and I will put information in the description under the video so that you have access to all of that and you can go and create these on your own because they're super fun. So anyway, your gift card is going to come in here, and I've misplaced my gift card that I used, but it fits. So that is super cute. This might be my very favorite thing I've made all season. And I'll give you a sneak peek as to what the other one is. So again, using the same products from the same suite. I'm in love with this paper, and I often feel like paper can totally make a project. But even if you don't have this particular paper, these both are easy to do with many different in many different styles, and using many different, versions of designer series paper. And I've done both of them differently, completely different. So I really do like that they're versatile. Okay, so here are the products, just a sneak peek of some of the products that we'll be using today. And I think we'll be using a little bit of everything, actually. Yeah, I really am enjoying this suite. And here's the Stampin' Up! Pictures. So this is in the, I'm going to keep wanting to say holiday, but the June to December mini catalog. And it's on page 24 through 26, if you want a closer look. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Now, this is like my 15th time trying to do this video today, so I've already started. The length of the cardstock is actually 4 1/4 by 11, and I've already folded this over, and I glued it just a little bit, guys, with some of the multi-purpose liquid glue, the Tombow glue, along the very edges. You want to do that again along the very edges just because you want to make sure you have room for your gift card, and if you do that, you certainly will. And I'm going to go ahead and set this aside so we can start with some stamping. I've pre-cut all of the pieces from, that needed to be a die cut out just to save time today. So for this piece, I cut it out at, where is it? 2 1/4 by 4 inches to give you, plenty of space and the ability to cut it out. And if you can hear my dog chomping on his toy turkey in the background, I apologize, but I tried to get it away and he just wasn't having it. So chomp chomp, it's the real world, right? We spoil our babies. So, and I tried to even kick him out and he wasn't having that either. All right, so I'm going to pull this a little bit closer just so I can see the top of it, and then I'll move it back up. I'm going to start a little bit off of the cardstock, and then I'm just going to keep going. This might be easier for you to do when you're like standing up, just for lining up purposes. You can see here I'm completely varying words. There's just a little bit there. Oh gosh, that's funny. So I'm going to have to do just a tiny bit there. You won't even tell what it is, but that's the fun of it, right? Okay, so this first mark, so it's a little bit wet. I'm going to give it a minute to dry, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to score this piece. But we have a little bit more stamping to do, so we'll just go ahead and do that. All right. The next thing we're going to stamp, and I'm pretty sure I can get rid of that for now, is a sentiment on the front, and that is a little something for you. You know what? Let me show you pause for a minute. I forgot to show you the actual stamp set. So we're going to use Wrapped in Christmas. I know there's a glare on my light. I'm having some lighting issues today. And this has proven to be an amazing stamp set. I wasn't going to get it just because I get so many. And I thought, you know, I probably have a lot of sentiments. And I do, but I really am enjoying this. So it's a good purchase. And something that you'll have for years. So, and then I did take the Merry Christmas out of the Perfectly Plaid set. And with this for the inside, you can use any sentiment you have for the inside of it, but it was just calling to me, so that's what I used. Okay. So again, I've pre-cut here a little something for you. I'm using Poppy Parade ink. It's one of the colors in the Designer Series paper. And let me move that, excuse me. There we go. And we'll stamp the inside, I think, a little bit later. I'm going to go ahead and attach this to the Poppy Parade layer right now. I'm using just my Stampin' Seal for that, and you'll see why. We'll definitely pop it up some in a bit. There we go. Oops. Oh, phew. Okay. I'm going to use my paper trimmer, and I'm going to score the edge of this at 1/2 inch. So we're actually going to fold that around a piece of cardstock later, and just scoring it makes it so much easier. And for this card, we actually don't even really need that bottom piece. So, you know, the little jagged edge, which is super cute. I love it. All right. So back in comes my cardstock. All right, so this is the card base, and we're going to begin attaching the Designer Series paper. And we're also going to attach ribbons. So one thing that you can do is go ahead and put your Stampin' Seal or whatever adhesive you're choosing to use up the two sides, and take, I have cut 2 pieces of the Trimming the Town ribbon, and, or excuse me, what is Trimming the Town ribbon or something like that. I've cut 2 pieces, and one is about 12 inches and one is about 9 inches. I'm going to take the short one for this. Make sure, so what I want it to be is on the left side when I flip my paper over. So we're just going to do it like that, and we're hoping that it's about in the middle. It looks like it might be a little bit low, but I'm not going to mess with it. I'm going to leave it. And we can attach that to the card here. So what's going to happen is it's going to wrap around, and then, you know, we're going to be able to tie the bow. So the next thing that we have, so we have the inside piece, which is Whisper White, and it is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And we have, I keep calling it the red and white squiggles pattern at 2.5 by 4 inches. Forgot to mention this is 3 by 4, 3 inches by 4 inches. And again, all of the measurements will be on my blog, and I'll put the information for that in the description under the video. Okay. Trying to be super careful about lining that up. So now we're going to add the other, no, we're not. We're going to add this. Then we're going to add the other piece of ribbon. So you can see I'm folding this in on itself. Where's my ribbon folder? Because what's going to happen is I'm going to now attach this to that. Okay. So I'm going to just put some adhesive. You can use probably whatever adhesive you want. They're all pretty strong. And I'm going to line that up in the center best I can. Just eye it. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect. And then I'm going to fold this down. Well, score it down. All right. So you can see here, oops, the back side. So I'm going to take my adhesive again and place my ribbon this time right here. So you don't need a whole lot in there. Most of it's going to stick out and wrap around. And then I'm going to attach this to the card. So Stampin' Seal is pretty strong. I don't know. I'll give it an extra just because, but it's sticky. Okay, so then we're going to add this to the card base. We have one more piece of Designer Series paper, and it's the wreath pattern, and that's cut at 2 inches by 4 inches. So and then we're going to put that right over here. Okay. Now we're going to thread the ribbon through the little hole in the tag. And I guess we can just go ahead and tie that closed. I may have cut my ribbon a little bit longer just to make sure I had enough. Okay, and so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to open that again because I forgot to stamp the inside. So I'm going to add a little something for you, but I am going to put dimensionals on this. So I'm going to put one at the bottom and one at the top because I want them to straddle the ribbon. Sometimes these little dimensional pieces don't like to come off. All right, a little something for you, super sweet. So the stamp that we're using is photopolymer. I'm going to pull my pad back in here. And I'm going to use Old Olive, which is, again, one of the colors, you know, pulling in that from the Designer Series paper. These colors are just so happy and work so well together. And, pretty straight. Merry Christmas. All right, so you can see it's actually a pretty quick and easy card to create. Now I realize oh gosh. I hope we're still going. You can see that's pretty easy to create quickly. I don't know how to stop that, guys. There, sorry. And now we can go ahead and tie our bow. All sorts of busyness going on a Monday morning at Stamp with Vicki. And here, Winston, I wish I could just tell him to stop, but he won't. All right, so there's card number 1. So the next thing we'll do is gift card holder number 2. It's so cute. I'm just in love with this fold. Again, I think I told you earlier, but it's a take on the Joy Fold card, vertical Joy Fold maybe. I don't know, I think there's probably a couple of names to it. So we're going to go ahead and get started on that. For this card, we are using the actual Coming Home stamp set, and that is from the Trimming the Town Suite. And actually the only part we're going to be using today is the car. But this is just such a fun set, and I'm in love. I also brought in Itty Bitty Christmas because I just loved Lots of Love at Christmas, and I thought it was just fun. So you can see there's a couple of different stamp sets that we're using today. Itty Bitty Christmas is kind of, I'm going to call it an oldie but a goodie. It's a few years old, and anytime they have the Itty Bitty stamp sets, I grab them and I use them a lot. So just a little tip for you. Okay. So ours is going to look a little different. I used an oval in the first one, but I'm going to try a circle for this one. So we'll see how that goes. To start off, so the base cut is at 8 1/4 by 4 1/4, and it's only scored at once at 5 1/2. I have to use the serge to glue it. So it just opens like this. Okay, and so we have a second piece, and this again is in Misty Moonlight. If I didn't say that before, it's my favorite blue. We'll call it that. All right, and this piece is cut to 3. I want to double check because I know I switched, but it is 3 1/4 by 8 1/2. And then I scored it at 4 1/4. I had that written down wrong. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to leave, actually we're going to stamp first. So in this piece, I've used, oh, you know what? We're also using the Snowflakes Wishes stamps. But that pack is on the floor, so you'll have to look it up in your catalog. Another really good one that you can use for years to come. And we're going to use the Versamark ink again. The Versamark ink works so well with this Misty Moonlight. The color just comes out so cleanly. So I took 2 of the snowflakes and just randomly stamped them. Trying to leave room for the other one. All right, well, let's see what we can do with this guy. It's a little close. And you know what? A lot of this is going to be covered up anyway. I'm going to just come in a little bitty bit at the top. And I think that's probably good, so that'll be covered up. Okay. It's a really pretty snowflake set. Excuse me, just had to get a drink of water. All right, so I'm gonna pull in a minute. I'm gonna color the little car. I'm gonna color it red and black. Oh goodness, forgot to grab these. And I've used my watercolor pencils for this particular project. And I didn't use a blender pen. You totally could use the blender pen, the blends themselves, the watercolor pencils. You could use the blender pen. If you have a really fine touch, you could even watercolor. Such a cute little, the regular markers would work just fine, as well as your children's Crayolas. So I don't remember what I did for the hubcaps. I left them red. Here we go. And I am gonna grab my, well, if I do this super light, you'll never know that it's black. I just think it's gray. There we go. Cute, cute little car. And then we'll set that aside. Now I've done some die cutting for the pieces. So the dies that come with, I think it's Home Together dies that come with the in the suite actually do cut out some of the homes and the trees. So that's a nice little perk. You can fussy cut them. It's actually easy. You know, they're easy pictures to fussy cut if you don't have a die cutting machine. You might want to think about getting one, but it's easy enough to cut out. So now we can start putting it all together. The inside piece is 4 by 5 1/4. I don't think I need this right now. And grab my adhesive. Oh, I love this side too. This is a hard paper to use one side or the other. So I just bought multiple packs. Oh gosh, I can see the sun is shining in. So hopefully that just helps the lighting situation. Okay, pretty, right? And then we're also going to take this piece. I think we can go ahead and attach it. I was going to say maybe we should decorate it first, but I think as long as it's, I think we'll be fine. And I'm attaching it pretty much just to the center of that card base. So hopefully that's pretty straight. I'm going to come down like that. Make sure I'm good and scored here. A little bit of adhesive on my table. All right, I'm going to set that aside for just a second. So for this piece, this is going to be the actual gift card holder part. It is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 square. I have already scored it. So you're going to score it along 3 sides at 1/2 inch on all 3 sides. Okay. And so now I'm going to go ahead and fold it for you. And we will do a little cutting, but it might be easier to do. My old eyes can't see these score lines sometimes. There we go. So I'm just going to cut off these 2 little square edges. Buried my scissors over here. And one thing I like to do, and I think you'll notice that when demonstrators make boxes and bags and those sorts of things, well, I'm going to do it down here. I just trim off the very edge to make a crisper fold. So now, again, you can use either the liquid glue, but the Stampin' Seal actually fits perfectly here. So I'm going to adhere all the inside. I'm going to put adhesive on the inside of all 3 of those score lines. And then I'm going to fold them in. It's just sticking onto itself. So, you know, it doesn't really matter. And then I'm going to I have a 1 1/2 inch circle punch. And I'm going to eye it the best I can. Go down about not quite halfway, although you could. And then pop that out so it makes it a little bit easier to pull out the gift card. Now to attach this part to the actual card, I'm just going to go ahead with the adhesive again, right over those folded pieces. There we go. Then we can go ahead and attach this on the inside. I left just a tiny little bit at the bottom, but you can go all the way down if you want. I don't really know why I did that. I just did. And your gift card will fit in there. Again, I have no idea where mine went. Last thing we're going to do is we're going to decorate the top. Well, second to last thing. I'm going to try it with the circle. So I've cut a piece of designer paper. So this is the wreath piece. It's just the other side and it has all these words with all different languages, which is super fun. And I use that side just to be a little bit different. Pretend I speak German and French and what other language is in there. I just went ahead and laid that down in the center. This piece, okay. Ooh, I can't remember the measurements on that one. Oops. Yeah, it's 2 by 3 1/4. Now we'll see. All right, go ahead. Oh, you know what? I always do this on videos. I always forget my ribbon. We're going to wrap some ribbon around. This white ribbon, it's the white seam binding ribbon, and it really has become a staple in my craft room because, well, it's white and so it's versatile and you can color it with the blends. So it really has become a staple, and I've done both. It's easy to use, except it does get a little bit of static with it. So I just usually will squirt it with a little spritzer bottle, and that handles it. There we go. It's a little bit longer than last time, so I may come back in and trim that bow down. We'll see. We'll see how the end result is. Scooch it over, and then this one I am going to not pop it up yet. I was looking at my decisions. That ribbon is so fine that you don't really have to. There we go. And then I'm gonna, same thing, I'm just gonna use the regular adhesive to attach the house. Super cute. Now I'm gonna use dimensional to add the car. Something's popped up, you know. And I am going to use a glue dot. Gosh, I hope you all didn't just hear my tummy growl. Maybe I should rethink doing videos on a Monday morning. Use a glue dot and just attach, there we go. And attach the tree there. You know what I didn't do, guys, and I think I am? I'm gonna add some Wink of Stella to these windows. Every card just about needs Wink of Stella. You all know that by now. There we go. Perfect. Now for the last part, we are going to attach a small white piece, and this is darn my measurements, huh? I have them somewhere. 2.5 by 4. Yeah, 2.5 by 4. I'm gonna attach it, and then we're gonna stamp a sentiment, and then we'll be done. Things out of the way. All right, and then let me grab my stamp. And Poppy Parade again, because that's a happy Christmas color. Oops. That wasn't it. Oh goodness. Well, I don't know what I did with my stamp, you guys. Oh, there it is. Whew. Lots of love at Christmas. I just think that's sweet. And I loved the whimsical, I think that's why I chose that stamp, because I just really like the whimsy of it to go along with that stamp, or the designer series paper. Thought it was too cute. So that's it. Those are our projects. So here we go, a little closer up. Super cute. There we go. And then once again, I didn't retie the bow, so we can go ahead and open it. Gosh, I apologize about the lighting. I don't know what I could have done differently. I've got it lit up like a Christmas tree in here, or brighter even. And there we go. So thank you so much for joining us today. Again, all of the information will be in the description under the video. And if you enjoyed the video, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. I would love that. And hit the little notification button so that you can be notified when I keep saying go live, but when I post another video. So thank you all so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.